Did you ever wish that you could go back in time and undo the things you did and just restart from scratch? Or did you ever wish you could see what the future would be like in the next 50 years? Luckily, we have movies that will help us imagine what it would actually be like if time travel was real. Hello and welcome back to Bam Top Lists. I'm your host Tina, and today we will be taking a look at the top 10 time travel movies that will blow your mind. Most of these movies you can watch right now online, either on Netflix or Amazon Prime Video. Please leave this video a like and subscribe to our channel. Share this video with a friend so that we can reach our goal of 1,000 subscribers so that we can start doing contest giveaways as a way of saying thank you for helping us reach our goal. Now, who's ready? Coming in at number 10, we have Boss Level. This movie was released in 2021 and it stars Mel Gibson. We get to follow a man named Roy Pulver, who is a retired Delta Force soldier in Atlanta. Unfortunately for him, he is stuck in a time loop where he gets to relive his death day every day. He would wake up every morning at 7 a.m. and you get to see a lot of action scenes and insane kills that will blow you away. But in the end, Roy still ends up dying no matter what he tries to do. But he only has one goal in mind. He has to try and figure out exactly who this person is that keeps killing him. Maybe that's how he gets to escape this loop. How long do you think he can relive his death day? Do you think he will ever break out of it? Coming in at number 9, we have See You Yesterday. This movie was released in 2019. This movie is based on a short movie titled the same name. We get to follow two teenagers named CJ Walker and Sebastian Thomas, who together created a time travel backpack. Using this technology they created, CJ's only goal in her mind right now is to try and save her brother from getting shot and killed by a police officer due to a mistaken identity. As she travels back in time to try and save her brother, she later realizes that there are consequences of messing with time, and things unfold in different ways that also don't give the best outcome she hoped. This movie, in the end, will leave you thinking twice whether or not you would risk your current life that you have right now. Coming in at number 8, we have Tenet. This movie was released in 2020. We get to follow a CIA agent known as the protagonist, who got hired by an organization called Tenet. He was tasked with a mission to do whatever he can to stop World War III from happening. And in order for this war not to happen, he has to travel back in time and reverse the effects that started the talks of World War III. Be prepared for a lot of action scenes that will drop your jaw to the floor. Do you believe that he can stop the war from happening? Let us know in the comments. Coming in at number 7, we have In the Shadow of the Moon. This movie was released in 2019. It is set in the year 1988, and we get to follow a police officer named Thomas Lockhart and his partner Maddox. There is a serial killer on the loose who does brutal things to his victims every 9 years. Fast forward to 1997, and Thomas sees the same pattern in its victims and tries to solve these cases with no luck. Fast forward again in the year 2006, where Thomas is now a private investigator and seeing these victims being killed the same way again, but suspects it could be a doctor named Rayo. But with no luck, he cannot figure out who is doing this to their victims and doesn't have enough evidence against the doctor. We are now in the year 2015, and he gets kidnapped by the doctor, who admitted that she uses an injection to kill its victims, which causes the people to travel through time. I don't want to spoil the movie, but it will definitely keep you on your toes because you just don't know what's going to happen next. Coming in at number 6, we have Time Freak. This movie was released in 2018, and it is a romance movie. We get to follow a man named Stillman, who is a physics student and just got dumped by his girlfriend named Debbie. He tries to figure out what went wrong in the relationship by using his physics knowledge to find out at what point did the relationship start to go downhill. Stillman and his best friend have made a machine that time travels, so they both go back in time to when Stillman and Debbie first met. As he gets to replay this relationship, he alters the course of time by trying to fix this relationship where it all started to go wrong. Do you believe that they will end up together in the end? Or no matter how many times he tries to fix their relationship, the end result will always be the same? Let us know in the comments what do you think will happen. Coming in at number 5, we have Synchronic. This movie was released in 2020. We get to follow two best friends named Steve and Dennis, who are also paramedics in New Orleans. They get called to a few crime scenes and they notice all the recent crimes they got called for has some sort of new drug. However, Dennis's daughter all of a sudden disappears. That's when he gets more involved as to what this mysterious drug actually does. This new drug is called Synchronic. It says that it alters the pineal gland perception of time. But one night, someone broke into Steve's home, who happens to be a chemist that created the drug. Steve decides to take the drug for himself, and for the next few minutes, we see him time traveling all the way back to the Ice Age era. It turns out that wherever you take the drug at that specific location where you are standing, it will take you back in time to the exact same spot. So Steve takes the drug again to where Dennis's daughter disappears, but it turns out that she wasn't there. So that must mean that she took the drug somewhere else. Do you think they will be able to find her? Coming in at number 4, we have Happy Death Day. This movie was released in 2019. It is a comedy thriller. We get to follow a university student named Teresa. She wakes up in her dorm and is reminded that today is her birthday. We get to see her whole day get planned out, but in the end, she gets killed by a masked person at night. Then she wakes up again in her dorm room again, reliving the same night, and she gets killed by the same masked person every night. So during this whole movie, she tries to figure out who keeps killing her every night. And as the movie progresses, she alters her own day by doing things that maybe by doing something slightly different will help her get past her birthday day. However, every time she dies, she notices that she is getting weaker each time that she wakes up in her dorm. Do you think she will be able to get out of this time warp? Coming in at number 3, we have Don't Let Go. This movie was released in 2019. We get to follow a homicide detective named Jack Radcliffe, who gets a phone call from his niece named Ashley to come and pick her up since her father hasn't shown up. Jack promises his niece that he will talk to his brother, who was a former drug dealer, who is also on medication for bipolar disorder. Later that evening, he gets a disturbing phone call from Ashley for help. But as soon as he arrived, both his brother, mother, and Ashley were all shot dead in the home. A couple of weeks later, he gets a phone call coming from Ashley's cell phone, which is impossible because her phone got disconnected from the network. Regardless, he answers the phone, and his niece is talking to him as if nothing happened. He is somehow communicating with his niece back in time before the tragedy actually happens. Throughout the movie, you get to see how he is communicating with his niece to try and alter the past before it's too late. Do you think Ashley can survive? Coming in at number 2, we have Time Trap. This movie was released in 2018. We get to follow a group of college students who try to find their missing archaeologist professor named Hopper. They knew that Hopper was in a cave trying to locate missing people and their whereabouts in the 70s. So a group of them decided to go to this cave to see if their professor is hiding there. But as they explore the cave, they come across something very strange. They go down the cave and they notice that time moves differently in the cave at a much slower pace than on the surface. They come across things in different dimensions that you won't believe. In the end, they end up in a place where you least expect. Do you think this was all real? Or was this all played out in their minds? You have to watch the movie to find out. Coming in at number 1, we have Tomorrow War. This movie was released in 2021. It stars Chris Pratt. This movie starts off in the year 2022, and we get introduced to a biology teacher named Dan Foster, and he fails to get a high-paying job at the Army Research Laboratory. While there was a broadcast of the World Cup, soldiers from the year 2051 came back from the future to warn people that humans are on the brink of extinction due to an alien invasion known as white spikes, and that in the year 2048, that's when these aliens are going to arrive on Earth to try and kill off humans. Throughout the movie, they try and figure out what they need to do to stop these aliens from arriving. But it turns out that these aliens were on Earth way before the year 2048, and that they were among us this whole time when global warming was at stake. When the ice caps melted, the aliens were able to merge from the waters and take over. Do you think they will be able to save humans from extinction? Let us know in the comments. And that's it for today's list of the top 10 time travel movies that will blow your mind. Which movie on this list is your favorite? Or which movie on this list will you watch next? Let us know in the comments. Please leave this video a like and subscribe to our channel. I'm your host Tina, and I'll see you in the next video.